The Navajo. In the early 1860s, the United States built forts on the Navajo's territory. The U.S. claimed that they did this to prevent the Navajo and the neighboring citizens from conflict. However, this began the Nahonzud, or Time of Fear. This was the beginning of a long, difficult journey for the Navajos on account of U.S. exploitation. Brigadier General James H. Charlton, commander of the Federal District in New Mexico, began to use military power against the Navajo people in 1861. He commanded Colonel Kit Carlson to force the Navajo to surrender to New Mexico. The Navajo, however, held their ground and only a few surrendered. More militia joined Carson's regiment, and together they enacted the Scorch Earth Campaign. They went throughout the Navajo land, killing, plundering, and destroying everything they came across. The few Navajo that survived agreed to surrender, knowing if they didn't, they would either starve or be killed. The surrender took place at Canyon de Chelly. The Long Walk. In 1864, 9,000 Navajo people were forced to walk more than 300 miles for internment at Bosque Redondo in Fort Sumner, New Mexico. The government, however, did not provide enough supplies and water for the Navajo once they arrived. The people suffered in this new location because of crop failure, disease, and raids by other Native Americans or colonists. The United States government sent some Mescalero Apaches to Fort Sumner as well, and this resulted in some major conflicts since the Apaches and the Navajo were sworn enemies. Finally, in 1868, the federal government made a treaty with the Navajo, which allowed the survivors to return to a reservation in their homeland. Some Navajo people were recruited to be Indian scouts who reported to the military in 1895. This job was a form of police work. It gave birth to the Navajo Tribal Police led by Chief Manuelito. The tribal police made peace with surrounding peoples by enacting the 1868 Navajo Treaty. The Navajo were permitted to leave the reservation to trade if they received permission from the military. Because of this, the Navajo people no longer had the need to raid because they had enough livestock and produce to sustain them. The Navajo reservation was made 5 times larger than it was originally. In spite of this, the Navajo still struggled because companies and people in the surrounding area exploited the Navajo's land and resources. The United States government allowed mining on Navajo land, the leasing of livestock, and railroad construction in their reservation. The Navajo had come a long way, and yet they still struggled under the government and citizens of the United States.